Welcome to the very first episode of Outspoken Mysteries with Richard and Paul. In this first episode, we are looking at the case file study of Elisa Lam, the girl who disappeared in America. I'm going to hand you over to Paul, where Paul will explain a little bit more about this strange mystery.
Hello.
Hiya.
Yeah, I'm Paul. Obviously, Elisa Lam. It's been well publicised. I mean, there's been movies made about it and stuff like that now. And basically, if you don't know, it's a girl gets into an elevator and does a lot of weird stuff, pressing buttons, talking to her hands, and then when she disappears from the elevator closes, and then when she comes back, the elevator opens, and it won't close with her inside of it. So there's a lot of theories, air quotey fingers, about what it is, and obviously we're just going to discuss a few of those theories, see if we can agree on one.
So you were saying theories at the minute. What type of theories are out there?
Right. Well, basically, the biggest theory is the hotel is haunted by evil spirits.
Right.
There's been a lot of serial killers who frequented this hotel, and a lot of them, well, I say a lot, one or two of them have said, the spirits in that hotel, they've told me to murder people.
Right.
The Cecil Hotel, as it was called then, and now I believe it's called the Stay on Main, and it's had a lot of delinquents stay there, and obviously the delinquents have either seen this case and thought, well, I'm going to use that, and say, well, I was told by evil spirits to do this. That's the biggest theory, is that there's evil rooted in this hotel.
So are some people saying that this could be a ghost or some sort of possession?
Yeah.
Right.
People are saying that because when it first opened, it was for rich people. And then around about the 1940s, it started getting a lot of delinquents who went to the hotel, and a lot of people who killed themselves or killed other people inside the hotel. So the biggest, the one that gets the most people talking is that there's something evil in the roots of this hotel. That anything that goes in there, people who go in there, they come out broken or they come out deranged, if
Could
you know what I
this
mean.
just not be people that are going there are already broken?
Yeah.
And because this hotel is a bit of a magnet for nutters and crazies, people are trying to put a supernatural spin on this when really it's just a bunch of nutters.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I think. I think it's one of those things where if somebody says it enough, you're going to start to believe it. And these people who search out this will think themselves, well, it must be true. I'm hearing voices, because they think already before they go there that that's what this is. So personally, I think in my mind, I think it's just a very sad situation that this girl was in, and people have spun it to be, oh my god, she's been possessed. I mean, there's videos of her, she's got her hands out and it looks like there's something bending her hands back and stuff like that, and she's talking. You can't hear the audio, but she's talking to something, and then she gets out of the elevator and continues the conversation, but you can't see what's on the other side of the elevator.
Right.
So,
but with these types of mysterious mysteries that are out there in the world, and that's why we're here today, to look at them and not necessarily to agree with what people are saying, to look at them in fresh eyes and go, well, no, don't agree with this. Now, I have been on the internet searching, and this seems to be a bit of a Pandora's box, I suppose, of weirdness.
Yeah.
Because when I looked at the video footage, it doesn't look like she's possessed by anything other than drugs.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like she is being involved with anything out of this world by what I can see.
Yeah.
But is this not just a gimmick to sell a film? Because this style murder, if we say suicide, whatever we want to put the label on, it has a backdrop of two films.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, I didn't do that much research on the films. I'm just aware there is films, so I don't know if the films came out before or after. I know there's been a lot of TV shows. There's a TV show called Castle that basically does this kind of TV episode, and the premise is there's horrible taste in the water, which is, if you look at the file of this Elisa Lam's death, is that's how they found her body. because she was originally found in a water tank on top of the building. Now,
So before we go there, let's look at the beginning. Not necessarily the beginning of her story. I think we should be looking at the beginning of the hotel.
yeah,
Now I know it's reported that the hotel was built in 1927, and I know they claim that they've had a lot of murderers, rapists. In this location, this hotel is on the outskirts of Skid Row.
yeah,
Now there you go. You're looking at a community that is troubled by different types of people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
of
don't
course.
just have the random smackhead. You're also going to have people who, in their mind, see Jesus Christ walking up the street.
yeah,
So now we've got a backdrop of this hotel from the 1920s. It's deprived. There's a lot of strange goings on. There is claims that could it be a guest that's killed her? Could it be / inmate that's killed her? Or a worker that's killed her? But what do you think? How do you think this body of this girl has gone from this elevator, disappears for 2 weeks, and then reappears in a water tank on top of a 10, 14-story building?
yeah. Well, I mean, my personal opinion, and the way I look at it is, I can believe something if I say it myself. If you turn around and says, well, I've just saw Bigfoot, I will say, well, I don't believe you. But if you knocked on my door with Bigfoot and he shook my hand, I'd say, shit, that's Bigfoot.
But if Bigfoot shook your hand, I wouldn't be standing next to him because he'd be chewing on your face.
Well, anyway, so the way I look at it is, I like to get the facts to every story. If you want to say there's aliens in the sky, that's fine. Give us some facts. The fact of the matter is, to me personally, is this was a sad case of a girl with bipolar depression. Now, I'm not 100% sure if what I did was legal, but I looked through our autopsy report.
Right.
And
hang on a minute. How did you get her autopsy report?
because I looked on the internet and I typed in...
Well, if it's on the internet, is this real? Can we trust this information?
Well, exactly. That's the whole point. You don't know if it's real, could be fake, it could be real. I'm not sitting here saying this is what is true.
But funny you pull that up. Funny you turn around and say, I've looked at this autopsy. But I've also looked at something online where her toxology report was concerned. So let's see what yours say, and let's see what mine say.
Right, it's getting interesting now. So basically, a whole toxicology report came back clean except for antidepressants. And there was another drug in our system. It wasn't an illegal drug. Again, I think it was for bipolar disorder, schizophrenia and stuff like that. That to me, in the report that I found, if it is true, it proves the theory that sadly she was a depressive and she had, some sort of hallucination or whatever it may be. I don't have a deeper understanding of depression and stuff.
So then that's your findings. My findings are very similar.
Right.
But at the point of death, there was no signs of any of her prescribed medication in her blood.
Right.
So now we're looking at two cases that are supposed to be looking at one person. And one case is saying that, yes, she had depressive, and the other case is no, she didn't have. But my findings of the studies that were out there have said that she did suffer with psychosis.
Yeah.
She was on medication for bipolar, schizophrenia, split personality disorder. And they did say that because she disappeared for up to 2 weeks before the body was found, they have reason to believe that her body was not put into the water tank originally.
Right.
They have reason to believe that she was held captive somewhere and wasn't accessing her medication.
Right. Okay.
And they've also said, if this is true or made up, we'll never really know. But they've also said that there's video footage of her in the lift, which has gone viral. It's had millions of views.
Yeah.
And yes, you can see this girl doing something.
Yeah.
And you can see she is hiding. You can see she's clearly distressed and bizarre, strange in my mind. They are saying that she could be playing an elevator game. Do you know what that is?
No, they say this is why I like to do things like this, because you've brought to me something that is brand new.
Well, I'll
elevator
tell you.
game.
We'll explain this elevator game.
Right.
Earlier on at the beginning of our series, our episodes, we looked at different types of phenomenon. And this is trying to say it's possession. We touched on this before about the hotel and the souls and the other people that have been there, murderers and all this.
Yeah.
They claim, now I might have this wrong, but they claim that if you take an elevator and you has to be in a building more than 10 stories high, and you have to type in a random code. Right. Now the random code eventually opens the gates to hell.
Oh,
right?
excellent.
Yeah. So
Brilliant.
this is how it works.
Right.
We go into an elevator. We have to have a building, like I say, 10 stories high. We press number 4 first.
Right.
Go to floor 4. Then we go to floor 2. Then floor 6. And then floor 10.
Right.
Then eventually a possessed child comes into the elevator. You can't look at the possessed child. You can't speak to the possessed child, because if you do, you'll die instantly.
Right.
Then once the possessed child comes into the elevator, you then can get to floor 5. Then after you've done floor 5, the choice is yours. Do you want to go to heaven or do you want to go to hell? If you go to hell, the doors open on the first floor and the gates of hell open up.
Right, okay.
If you go into heaven, you go to the 10th floor and you're in the paranormal world.
Right, okay.
Now, Elisa Lam, that Henny didn't find herself in the paranormal world. She found herself in a water tank.
Yeah.
Does this work?
Right. Well, I'm going to say straight away, I don't think that works at all. I mean, I'm happy to go and try this if you want. Not right now, obviously.
I'm a little bit dubious about climbing the elevators and possessed kids come and see with. I am a bit dubious.
Right.
And I'm thinking,
maybe not.
I'll just put this down to possibly we might do later on in the series.
Yeah.
A trial. We'll get two victims. We'll put them and see paradise awaits.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'll start my own cult now. That's fantastic. Right. So I'm gonna put put this out there. I don't believe that's true.
I don't. But one of the conspiracies was
course.
that this girl had some sort of disorder, she needed help, and she thought, hey, internet says I can find paradise by going to floor 4, 2, 6, 10, 5, 1 and 10. And that order, and she'll go to heaven.
Right. Well,
eventually she did, if you believe in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the reports also claimed, getting back to the serious note here, she drowned. Mm-hmm. She wasn't fiddled with, messed with, murdered. She drowned.
She drowned, yeah.
That's what they said, because in her lungs, her stomach, she had evidence of this water.
Yeah.
She drowned.
In the water tank.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, that goes back to, having depression, bipolar, whatever it was. I personally think that she was off her medication. Now, I don't know if there was somebody behind that, if she had a boyfriend or anything like that. I don't know what it was, but to me, the facts are that she wasn't on her medication, or she was on it, but not enough to, control these impulses, these urges, or whatever it is she has. And in hysteria, or she was hallucinating, I don't know, she ended up in this water tank, and unfortunately, she couldn't get back out. Now,
I'm just going to stop you there. We seem to be focusing on this water tank.
Yeah.
But I'm more intrigued about the journey she gets there, and what's behind her motivation, what's in her mind. So I delve a little bit more on this fantastic World Wide Web, and I've come up with some conspiracy theories.
Right.
Now, one of them is about the Pope and the Illuminati. Now, at this point in time in our show, we don't endorse anybody to join any occults. Except us. But they claim, if you look at Google Map, which I did do, sadly, at this hotel, and it has, on Google Earth, a reference to Invisible Light Agency. Now, this Invisible Light Agency is supposed to be something to do with film and productions and used in special effects.
Right, okay.
Right? So now we're starting to think, hang on, could this have been a prop? Could this been a gimmick?
Right.
Could this be a video footage that makes it look like this video that's out there, online, streaming to the world? Could this just be propaganda to sell somebody's business?
Right.
But I delve deeper. Then it opens up in another conspiracy that the Illuminati are all behind her disappearance. Because, get this, you're not going to believe this, they have invented a cloaking device like Harry Potter. You can put a cloak on and you can go invisible.
All right, so did she steal this? Was she the person who invented it?
apparently, allegedly at this point, as it gets more
Excellent.
intriguing, she knew somebody who worked there who told her about this, and she worked for a Canadian company
Right.
designing this. But the Pope, whichever one was at the point in time,
Yeah.
gives some money to this company to allow this company to create a cloaking device. Now, I want to ask a question. Why does the Pope want an invisible cloak?
I don't know.
Why
Maybe that's...
does the Pope want to disappear? I'm not sure about
Yeah.
that, but this is another conspiracy. And when I was listening to this and reading this online, it just came up how bizarre,
Yeah.
how freakish does people want to think about this poor girl
Yeah.
clearly needing some sort of assistance, clearly having some sort of dilemma in her mind.
Yeah.
Now we're coming up with the idea that she could disappear using a Harry Potter cloak.
Well, that's the thing. If you search far enough on the internet, you're going to find something crazy. I mean, the Illuminati, if people listening don't know, they control everything. I mean, I've seen stories about Beyonce being a clone. Exactly, Beyonce is...
Just for people out there, you didn't see my facial expression. I nearly choked on my own self, to be fair. Beyonce clone?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if somebody made her, they want the receipt and take it back, because I think it's broken.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. There was a video of her at a sports game, I think it was basketball, and she was singing in her own head, looking a bit mental, a bit like how Elisa Lam looked in the elevator. And the theory is that once a celebrity stops towing the line, they get killed and cloned, and then the clone goes out to give this agenda to the masses. Because
so what's happened to Michael Jackson? Then clearly he wasn't part of this.
No, I don't think he was.
Because he just vanished.
I think that's another episode entirely, Michael Jackson. But yeah, so I think if you look on the internet, the longer you look, the crazier you're going to find things.
What I found intriguing, I don't want to say to back up the idea of possession, but Aleister Crowley, the 666 beast, stayed at that hotel. And he was associated to the Illuminati.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And he'd wrote many books about how to kill people.
Right.
And a lot of his killings or ideas of killings were drowned in them.
Right. Oh, well.
Now, another spin on this. Could this Elisa Lam, was she a witch? Did they have to drown her? Because they used to drown witches.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she was a witch.
She looked bloody possessed to me.
Oh, well, something strange was going on. But I personally think it's something strange in her head. I mean, yes, there is a lot of delinquents and there's a lot of scary people stayed at the hotel. I mean, Richard Ramirez, I can't even remember the name. His nickname he got for murdering people. He stayed there.
I'll tell you what the nickname was.
Go on then.
Sick.
Yeah, oh, well, the Night Stalker, it was his nickname. But sick. Yeah, he was sick. He was a sick man.
And we don't endorse anything like that.
Oh, obviously not. I mean, in our cult, to get people to go up scary elevators, you've just got to be chained to a bed for 2 weeks.
And £500 donation.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I've even heard that she was a Scientologist. And now, I don't know if you know anything about Scientology.
A little bit, yeah.
Tom Jones. Tom Jones?
Tom Cruise, you mean?
Tom Cruise.
How dare you, sir? Don't mix them two up. One's Welsh and one's American.
Right, yeah. Well, so apparently, if you don't toe the line in this religion, Scientology, you get gone.
So when you say get gone, do you get beamed up to another planet? Or
well, I don't know.
Just vaporize?
Because they believe in an alien, don't they? They believe
so they say.
They're Thetans or whatever. I don't know. But apparently this was another thing. But again, it's the internet. So.
But saying that, Scientology could be another series or episode we'll look at.
Most definitely. I think
so. There we are in one conversation. We've picked out the next three coming shows.
Well, that's how it happens. But yeah, I mean, I like I said before, it's facts. The fact is, she did have a mental disability. She had a Tumblr account, and when you look through it, you scroll through it. I scrolled through about 4 years worth of it, and she was very into her fashion, but she was also, very honest about she was unwell.
That's right, she was, because I've actually read some of that too. Yeah. Didn't go through 4 years because I got bored after a couple of lines. To be honest with you, how many times can somebody say I'm not happy in different texts or dialogue?
Well, yeah.
She clearly did have some sort of issue going
Yeah.
on. She did talk about medication not working. She did talk about hallucinations and a mindset and
Yeah.
how she thought she was being followed and how she thought that the world was going to end and how she thought the gates of hell were going to open up. She did openly discuss all that.
Yeah.
But something intriguing. When they found the body, the phone was found in a different location, wasn't found on her.
All right.
So
Okay.
when they accessed the phone and all the text messages and stuff like that, the phone was still being used in this account, this blog account was still being used after the point of death.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously the
So
report.
is this a cover-up?
Yeah. Well, it could be. We're not here to say this is what it is.
No,
We're
no.
here to say this is what we think it is.
Exactly.
We don't know what it is, but in the report that I saw, again, you've seen a different report. So again, one of them's lying. Both of them are lying. We don't know. But in the report I've seen, our belongings were with her in the tank, but she was naked, and everything was pushed to one side, and she was on the other. So I mean, if the report, I don't even know if you've read that in your report, but if our phone wasn't on her, then obviously something along the lines is, somebody's got their stories wrong, or we've both got somebody's attempt at making this just a murder.
On the report, on the one that I read and I seen, it talked about possibly two suspects which were arrested. They were people who worked at this hotel.
Yeah.
Where she was found, the location of her body in the tank.
Uh-huh.
There was no description of whereabouts inside the tank it was.
Uh-huh.
Our personal belongings weren't found there. They were found somewhere else within a hotel room of this accomplice, they claimed.
Right.
There also claims that it would have took two men, very well built men, to lift up this locked door.
Yeah, that's one of the things that that hasn't got me 100% on the fact that she did this herself. Because I mean, it's supposed to weigh a lot, this drain or whatever it is, to get into this water tank. It's supposed to weigh a lot, and she barely weighed anything herself. So how did she get it open for a start? I mean, it would, if it was just her, it would have took a lot of energy. And now this is a girl who's off her medication. She's allegedly had no food in her stomach. This again is going back to my report.
My report agrees that.
Yeah, that she hadn't eaten in a long time. So how did she have the strength to lift this lid up and get inside? And for me, what I want to know is, why did she want to go inside? And the cameras in this hotel, why did they stop working when she was making her way outside of the building?
But surely, because it's a hotel, and if she's gaining access to the roof, it should be alarmed if it's a fire exit. Why didn't the alarm go off?
Yeah.
Surely this water tank, if you lift open a pressurized door, surely the pressure of the water is going to drop. Surely somebody somewhere within this building is going to see some sort of sign that this is being tampered with.
Well, exactly.
This is why, on the report that I've read, they claim it's an inside job, and they claim that it was two people that work there, employees that were working there, two friends, which used her, allegedly, but there's no signs of this,
of course,
as a prostitute.
Right.
And she was frequenting this hotel for a good few months as a prostitute.
Right.
But then when you look at her backstory, she's supposed to work in fashion. She's supposed to be having dealings with big corporate businesses.
Yeah.
So the backstory of prostitution, and that doesn't make sense.
No. Well, again, like you said, this is allegedly what has happened. So we can't say that it did. That could just be, again, someone on the internet writing this down, what they believe, and it gets lost in the ether, the truth, because so many people have got their opinions, and then they stick them on as facts, and a lot of people listen to them. It's like the Slender Man mystery. People think, well, the Slender Man is real, but if you look and do some research, you can find out that it was a meme that got started a few years before. So if you're saying one thing, and then another person is saying it, but they're adding their own twist to it, it's going to get changed. It's going to get stuff added to it, like prostitution or whatever. I mean, even the mental health, there's been people saying, but that's not Elisa Lam's Tumblr. That's what they've put up to make it realistic. That's what they've said, so you will believe that she was mentally ill.
But surely people who have thoughts or grandeur of confusion in their mind,
Yeah.
they at one point in their life will get clarity.
Yeah.
And this clarity that is being given to this poor person, could she not have just woke up one day and thought, I want to fight this condition, I want to get off these medications,
Yeah.
I want to get myself well? She didn't have vast amounts of funds in the bank, so
No.
sadly she found a cheap hotel to do rehabilitation in.
Yeah.
And then once she's had the rehabilitation, she may have thought, right, couple of weeks, I'm going to go back home, I'll be clear.
Yeah.
But like we say, we were not there. We don't know what was said and done. We can just go by these conspiracies. I know there's a lot of thoughts out there. It was a ghost, it was possession, it was the Illuminati,
Yeah.
it was murder, it was suicide,
Yeah.
it was the devil has chewed her up through this gates of hell lift game and sent us spinning into the abyss.
Yeah.
We'll not know the fact. But mental health, in my opinion, is something that needs to be addressed.
Oh yeah, I
And
agree.
medication that's prescribed by the professionals would surely be being monitored. Surely
Yeah.
she would have some sort of health checks, and she would have to go out there and be checked over by the GP and whoever's prescribing these.
Yeah.
So when we look at the mental health aspect, she ticks some of the boxes
Yeah.
of being very, very ill,
Mhm.
but she doesn't tick all of them. She's got nobody there looking after her. She doesn't seem to have a support network.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to have anybody who is concerned for her welfare, well-being. She's disappeared for 2 weeks. Did anybody raise the alarm? No. They claim on the report that I read, black water came running through the taps,
Yeah.
which is obviously a sign of Legionnaire's disease. Legionnaire's disease is contaminated water. You drink from that,
Right.
with a decomposition of organic matter,
Yeah.
you could say, you get contaminated. And this what brings me to the film called Dark Water.
Oh right.
It came
Okay.
out many years, but it was a Japanese film originally, and then Hollywood picked it up in the noughties, and they I don't know what word you
Rebooted
reinvented
it?
rebooted it. Yeah, they've done that
yeah.
with it. But some of the things seem to be a little bit strange. Some
Yeah.
of the names, some of the anagrams of this person. If you look at her name, it's an anagram of another murderer that happened in 1947. Then if you look at the reference to Adelia as a Black Widow,
Yeah.
it just goes on. Could this actually just be a freak accident?
Yeah. Well, it could be. I mean, I've heard rumors that, again, like you've said about films and stuff, that the hotel has made this. Obviously, this girl did die. We know that. But this video was shot after the fact, that they made this video because, you know, you've got these tourists who like to go to these haunted places, and of course it's big bucks, isn't it? If someone turns up with a busload of people all want to stay in the hotel where these people frequented, then you're going to get more money. So is it shot after the fact? You don't know. Because in my mind, why did the elevator camera work, but none of the other cameras and the alarm for the emergency exit, none of these worked between her leaving the elevator to, you know, when she dies?
Plus, there's not just one version or one release of this video.
No, I know.
Because I've had a look at a couple of them,
Mhm.
and on one of them, which is very similar to the main one that gets most of the hits, there's a minute and a half missing from
Yeah.
it. If you look at the time, it goes from one time, then it jumps a minute and a half forward. What happened in there?
Yeah.
Did the elevator close, and then, oh, this hasn't worked, let's reopen it.
Yeah. Who
Where did
knows?
that 1.5 minute go?
Yeah, and what is it of? Exactly.
Is somebody showing themselves? Is this really a case of a murder?
Yeah.
Where somebody in this hotel kills her, and for whatever reasons they've done this for. Is it for sickness? Is it for prostitution? Is it for drugs? Is
Yeah.
it for kicks? Then they have been seen on the elevator footage.
Yeah.
And then they've decided, right, I'm going to edit that out.
Yeah. Well, obviously the only people who could have edited the footage out is the people who work at the hotel.
That's it.
So again, if it's true there's a minute and a half missing, then why hasn't anybody looked into why that minute and a half is missing? Because to me, if I was, you know, a police officer, a detective, what have you, and I figured it out that there was a minute and a half missing, I would be thinking, well, hold on a minute. The only people who could be, you know, responsible for that is the people who work in the hotel, because they're the only people who have access to that. Unless it was some Illuminati hitman who knows his way around, you know, computers and he can sneak in and out. Yeah, again, it's...
Maybe it's the Illuminati's using that cloak that's made him invisible.
Well, there you go.
And that's what it is.
But
we're not actually saying a ghost possessing this poor soul.
This,
we're saying the Pope creeping into this hotel with his cloak on and to kill him.
Yeah, well, it might be. But
that is far-fetched.
Yeah, but if he... Well, no, we'll go with that for a second. If he does have this invincibility...
Invincibility you may have, but we're talking about invisibility.
Yeah, that's another episode.
The invincible Pope.
Right. So, yeah, if he's got this invisibility cloak from Harry Potter... Why did they need to edit the footage? Because then the minute and a half would be there because he's invisible.
Exactly. But maybe he's designed some sort of device to go back in time.
Oh, right.
Jump
Time
forward
travel.
in time. So now he doesn't just have Harry Potter cloak. He's also got
Marty's time
clock. That's what he's got. So he's standing in the hallway thinking this poor lass is going to get possessed in a moment. But I can't wait around, so let's speed on time a minute and a half.
Right.
And that's why Andy's hidden with his invisibility cloak.
Right. So we're now looking for Harry Potter's cloak and Marty and Doc's time machine.
Yes, and Hermione's little clock that she used
Oh,
in
that's
Harry Potter
Hermione's.
too.
All right,
Yes.
yeah, all right. So it's Harry Potter's now.
So this isn't just a murder or suicide or possession. It's a case for the police because we think film artifacts have been stolen.
Yeah, exactly. So there's stolen artifacts, there's a pope, murderous pope, and yeah, I mean, we've cracked it.
This is a sitcom. This has got to be a sitcom.
Yeah.
We should write the sitcom.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
The Invincible Pope and his amazing travelling machine.
Yeah, but obviously, you know, I mean, sadly, somebody did die, so you know, you can make these jokes, and as funny as they are... I want
to stop you there. We are not laughing at this poor
girl's
death.
Of course not.
We are looking at what the world presents as theories of why this took place. And we are looking logically, without alcohol or substance, not even coffee or tea, in a clear mind, looking at what could have happened.
Yeah.
And when you think about it rationally, and you look at things rationally,
you said rationally with laughing there.
Yeah, well, you've got to.
Yeah.
Because we've got to be rational.
Yeah.
But it's just bizarre.
It is. I mean, obviously, the truth of it is, the 100% fact is that this girl did die.
Yes.
The events leading up to her death, we'll never know. The autopsy reports, you can never ever see 100% that is the autopsy report. Again, you've got a different one right there in front of you, as of that. So, you know, the sad fact is this girl did die. We don't know how she died. And... like you said, we were laughing at the ludicrousness of some of these opinions on how she died. Now, again, I mean, with me being a skeptic, I don't believe she was possessed. I don't believe that there was a demon in this elevator or the elevator game.
But with me being a believer, they claim, now I don't know how they can come to this conclusion, but they claim that this poor girl was possessed.
Yeah.
And she then entered the password on the elevator buttons, which were 14, 10, 7, 4, and B. And this is a reference to Book of John. Now, I've never read a Book of John. I'm not interested. But, to be fair, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But this Book of John, according to this guy who's presenting his theory, this is a code that will remove a demon.
Right.
Now, if we can remove a demon by climbing into an elevator, do we need people out there that can cleanse?
Right.
Because you could just get your mobile phone out and just type in their PIN number and you cleansed.
Well, I mean, if she was possessed, why did she, like, get control of her body for a brief moment in time and think, well, I'm going to have to put this elevator code in to get this demon out of us?
Exactly. Is that a moment of clarity? Is that her way saying, hey, look, I'm normal here. I'm saying, right, quickly, I'm going to type in this code.
Yeah.
It didn't work, did it? Because 2 weeks later, she was still found dead.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, on the podcast, when we'll have it on YouTube, you know, I'll stick the video on as well, you know, with us talking over it, so you can look about it. If you've never heard it before, you've never seen the video before, then it'll be there for you to see, and you can come up with your own conclusions. Because at the end of the day, we aren't saying we're right, and we aren't saying they're right or they're wrong, because we don't know. I mean, I'm gonna put myself on the line here and say this Harry Potter cloak business, that's BS.
No, I'm not. I think it's fantastic. I honestly think that we have invisible popes floating around us here and now.
Right.
And I think they've got time travel. I think they can be beamed up onto some starship. I think it's great, yeah.
I'm not saying it's not great, I'm just saying it's not true.
I think it's great. As for the Illuminati thing, mind, it's a bit far-fetched. I know people claim they exist. I've never met one.
Yeah.
So if you want to come and shake us by the hand, introduce yourself, hey, I'm open. And then if you want to come on the show, we'll have you on the show.
Yeah.
We'll discuss your hidden talents. Do you have this invisibility cloak? Do you
Illuminati Scott
have, yeah, do you have this time machine?
Yeah.
Come forward. You can contact us via the links.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say, I think there's more proof for the Illuminati than there is for this invisible Pope with a time machine. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't believe that at all. If I'm wrong...
Hang on. So you're telling me what Harry Potter uses in that movie is not real?
Well, it's CGI movie effects, isn't it?
No, it's not. He's got a real one.
Oh, well...
Which was loaned by the Pope.
Right, well, I'll look into that.
It's said on the internet, it's true.
Right, oh, well, if it's said on the internet, then it's true. It is, but... getting back to it, unfortunately this girl did die. We don't know how, unless someone comes forward and says, yeah, it was me, I did it, and they edited the footage, there's just going to be speculation, this is what this is, it's a show where we want other people to give us their opinions.
Yes, so then your conclusion on this case of the Elisa Lam,
yeah,
what do you conclude with?
I personally think, now this was before I knew you had a different autopsy report, is I personally think that she was sadly a very unwell girl. She wasn't taking her tablets. I don't know how or why. I mean, I know in America they've got, we have the NHS over in the UK. We get those things provided for us if needed. I don't know how it works in America. She didn't have clearly any money because she didn't have food in her system for a while. Starvation was setting in apparently in this autopsy report. So I think sadly she had a nervous breakdown, and in this hysteria she made her way up to this water tank, and then 2 weeks later she was found. I mean, yes, there's a lot of questions as to why nobody heard an alarm or why nobody saw her on the cameras other than the elevator. But honestly, I believe that she was a sick woman, and this is how it came to be. She in her state of hysteria or in her hallucinations, she wound up in this tank and sadly passed away.
My conclusion or my thoughts of this case, very, very sad.
Yeah.
Yes, we've had some jokes aside, but very, very sad. Very distressing that an individual, clearly who is vulnerable, failed or the society failed to help her. And medication, she talked about medication of conditions we know that she was suffering from. What worries me is she's not the only one out there. Yes, she's been brought to the highlight because people have put it on, she's possessed or she's acted strange in the lift. Or is it this elevator game where it takes you to the gates of heaven or hell? Ultimately, she's an individual that was crying out for help and nobody helped her.
Yeah.
She was an individual with a backstory of confusions and delusions.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that she was in a place on the edge of Skid Row. It doesn't help that the location she was staying at was a budget location. But as you've touched on, she couldn't afford food. She was very undernourished in more ways than one. There was signs of in this report that I've got, which is completely different to yours.
Yeah.
Some elements seem to be very similar. Some elements seem to be too far out there.
Yeah.
My conclusion is I believe she was murdered.
Right.
My conclusion is that my own belief when I look at this is as she was needing help and society failed her, I think she looked towards some sort of God. And I think in her mind she was crying out that if people here aren't going to help her, somebody in the spirit world or in heaven is going to reach out and help her too. I don't believe that this individual was possessed
No.
and she used the elevator as a keypad to open up some sort of extra world. I don't believe that.
Right.
I don't believe that this individual was a prostitute. She may have liked sex, well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
I don't believe that she was an individual who went out seeking strange acquaintances, because when you look at the Tumblr account, when you look at her blogs, when you look at the stories of her friends, she looks as if she comes from a balanced background.
Yeah.
She looks as if she studied. She looks as if she is somebody who is getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to rule out though the murderer or murderers was organised.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to rule out that somebody in an organisation felt threatened by her.
Yeah.
Where they looked at her and thought, you know too much about our company or about our products. Clearly, if there is a cloaking device, if there is some sort of time machine, you're not just looking at an organisation from Canada, you're going to be looking at the government. Now, is this a government conspiracy? Nobody suggests it is.
Right.
Now, is that because the government are monitoring these websites,
Yeah.
deleted that? I don't think it's that. I personally believe the individual had met up with a potential boyfriend and this guy wasn't very nice.
Took advantage.
Took advantage of an individual who was vulnerable, a vulnerable member of the community, and she failed to take her medication. He played on that for whatever reasons, and sadly she died. And the only way he could cover the body up, he couldn't walk out the front door with the body.
No.
He's climbed up high, knowing that the system, the CCTV wasn't working, the alarms weren't working. If it's a budget hotel, without getting into health and safety, without looking at their maintenance reports, it's clearly lacking in all aspects.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to dispose of a body is to hide her somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done.
Well, again, I mean, lending credence to that theory, I mean, if she's in a water tank for 2 weeks, you're not going to find much DNA of anybody else's involvement, are you?
You're not.
So
they claim after 7 days, skin and bacteria start to disintegrate.
Yeah.
And sadly, when they would have removed her from that location, if there was any sort of evidence of somebody else's bodily activities, that would have been washed away.
Yeah.
Would have been.
Well, I mean, I think that's why we're doing the podcast. Really, is it's to start a conversation. We're not sitting here and saying, well, this is the truth. We're saying this is what we believe to be the truth. Now, to me, when you said the government, you're right. When you look, there is, other than this Illuminati stuff, I haven't seen anybody say, well, it's because the government want her dead. Now, is that because the government did want her dead, and like you said, they are monitoring this? But again, to me, going back to what I said.
Well, I'll say one thing. Once this podcast comes out and I'm found dead somewhere, the government's killed us, and you want to phone somebody to help us. And if the government's not going to help, got to phone Ghostbusters.
Well, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I mean, you think she was murdered. I sadly think she took her own life. And I mean, we want to hear from other people. We want, there'll be a comment section, you stick there what you think it was. I don't care if you think it's lizard men from the planet Lizardo. I don't care what you think it is. I just want, if you think that, put it in the comment section. And, we'll have a conversation. And that's what this is about, really.
But don't forget, they can follow on Twitter. They can follow on our Facebook page. Feel free to engage.
Yeah.
And then, who knows, in a couple of months down the line, we might relook at this case and get more evidence and change our mind.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the links to the Twitter and the Facebook pages, they'll be down there in the description. So, if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe.